Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about managing ourselves once we realize we have manifold sentience. All right, okay. So first of all, if you don't know what manifold sentience is, my apologies. I don't like to do videos that repeat the same content. So if you don't know what manifold sentience is, you will have absolutely no understanding in this video. You have to watch the video below. There's a link below on manifold sentience. It will explain what manifold sentience is to you. If you do not have manifold sentience, there's no value for you in this video, and you should proceed to my next video or another video, or go over to Dungeon Craft, who has amazing videos, or go over to Ginny D, who has amazing videos, or go over to Nerd Immersion, who has amazing videos. So if you don't have manifold sentience, this video is not for you. If you understand what manifold sentience is, and you have manifold sentience, then this video is for you, right? And I will tell you right now, this is the only place on the internet you will find help for dealing with the issue of being a human being with manifold sentience. All right, so let's talk about this. All right, so I've been thinking a lot about self-care and composing myself and going about life now that I have manifold sentience, thanks to Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so let me explain. One, I had before I played Dungeons and Dragons, I had individuated a sentience. I had one set of sentience in me, right? I had one set of memory, knowing, prescience, motivation, intention, and emotion, okay? That is no longer the case. I have achieved manifold sentience through Dungeons and Dragons. I have multiple collections of sentience within me. The strongest of I'm actually doing the count. So now that I've realized I am a being of manifold sentience, I am beginning to count the number of sentiences that are within me from Dungeons and Dragons, right? The most powerful of all these sentience by far is Beryl, the turtle wizard, okay? So it's actually not the oldest, it's not my oldest manifold sentience by any means. It's only about 2 years old. So about 2 years ago, I was involved in a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, and I rolled up a character, Beryl, Beryl the Turtle Wizard. And Beryl has become, by far, my strongest alternate sentience, right? And so I have a collection of memory, knowing, prescience, emotion, motivation, and intention that are completely different than my own set of memory, knowing, prescience, motivation, intention, emotion, okay? They are Beryl's. They're Beryl's collection of sentience, right? They were very strong at the table, right? And so basically, Beryl went through lots of different things in his life. He is dead now. He died. His corpse is bouncing around Forgotten Realms to this day, which is, and there was talk from the Dungeon Master that there would be kind of a setting him at rest, but that never happened yet. And that is a challenge for me personally, but that's okay. I'll carry that. I'll carry that burden. So what's really interesting is it's really profound, and I'm really starting to think a lot about this manifold sentience and how I manage it, right? So I live an incredibly blessed life. I have a beautiful wife, 4 kids, and I have a lot of shockingly, I have a lot of friends. I'm a terrible friend, and I don't know why I have so many, but we recently, me and my wife, took a group of 3 of our friends to Longwood Gardens, right? Longwood Gardens is a world-class botanical arena. It is stunning, right? So we watched these performance fountains, and then we went into the conservatory where there were beautiful light installations, and the conservatory had been made dark, and there was this gorgeous light structure, right? And the group was walking around, and I separated myself from the group for just, different people take in stimulation in different ways, and I needed a moment to just collect myself. So I went and I sat down, and I sat in front of this gorgeous view where there were these lanterns, and there was this light installation by Bruce Monroe, and it was a stunning vision, right? And I was sitting there for about 5, maybe 10 minutes, and one of our friends came up and said, "Hey, what you thinking about?" Right? And I kind of shook myself, and I realized that I was contemplating, right? And I was not taking in what was in front of me. I was in Beryl, right? I remember distinctly the dungeon master describing the water-deep docks, right? And he had described, this bustling area of activity, ships coming in, ships going out, these aromas, right? Like spices from Neverwinter arriving, and also food from other planes, right? Like other Dungeons and Dragons realms. And at the time, I remember how sharp it was, but I realized at Longwood Gardens, this world-class IRL encounter, I was thinking, I was seeing through Beryl's eyes at the water-deep docks, right? And I remember specifically that, the person said, "What are you thinking about?" And I could not answer that question, right? Because what I was thinking about was a blue Air Genasi merchant selling Beryl a hot buttered roll, right? And a fresh water skin. And him paying 2 gold, and the merchant being very thankful because that was far more valuable. It was far more valuable than what he had gotten, right? The person had gotten, what the merchant had sold them, right? And there was this, this experience that was happening in my mind where I was filling in detail for the scene that had already happened and seeing through Beryl's eyes in the world that Beryl had been, right? And there was sensation and feeling. That's what sentience is. The ability to feel and sense, right? Before Dungeons and Dragons, I only felt and sensed what was in front of me, right? I did not have multiple collections of sentience within me. But now I do, right? And so when faced with world-class attractions, I am thinking about a world I am not currently in a person I am not currently shrouded in, right? It is manifold sentience. And if you are out there and you have manifold sentience, you must begin to think about how you care for yourself, how you compose yourself, how you present yourself to the world, because it is not the same as a person who has individuated sentience, right? The things that we deal with, the things, these multiple collections of memory, knowing, prescience, motivation, intention, emotion. It's not like a muggle. Right? The rest of the world has only one sentience. You have many. And that means we must change how we approach composing ourselves, presenting ourselves, caring for ourselves. I don't have every answer to that. I am working on it. The first thing is you must acknowledge your manifold sentience. It is absolutely critical that you acknowledge you are no longer like the vast majority of people on this planet. You are no longer a being of individuated sentience. You are a being of manifold sentience, and you must care for yourself, compose yourself, and present yourself far differently than anyone else. It is critically important. All that is my humble opinion. What's yours? How are you dealing with your manifold sentience? I would love to hear it. Let me know in the comments below if you have beneficial tips on how to deal with manifold sentience, how to make sure that you're spending the right amount of time in your own what used to be your only, in your primary sentience. Is it even? Oh my gosh. Is Scott Garibay my primary sentience? There's a lot of questions. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.